So excited. If I DNF a book, I do not read it at all. I don't think that's very fair. You know, you just don't say no to Chris and Hannah Christmas story. I am the biggest Weenie Hut Jr. out there. Let's get into it. Hey guys, if you recognize what I'm wearing, it's the same day as I filmed the other video and we're moving straight into a new vlog because we've got a TBR to finish, and that means tackling Dracula. I have exactly 220 pages left to read, so I can definitely knock this out. Hopefully, I don't know, it is Thanksgiving week and I have family coming in, I'm hosting them, and we have a house full of littles, so it's gonna be so much fun and very busy, but still, my goal is to finish Dracula, and I'm gonna try to finish Fairytale, which I actually think I only have 150 pages left. But this book, you know, it's been a struggle for me. So we'll see if my reaction changes knowing the ending of the book. Real quick, going back to Dracula, this book has been giving me nightmares, but then I remembered that vampires have to be invited in, and so I've been fine since then. But I've been really surprised at the pull that I've been feeling to go back to Dracula, because I did pick up Brimstone right at the 50% mark, and when I started struggling with Brimstone, my mind kept going like, oh, I wonder what's happening back in Dracula, and I can't wait to be back in that world and see what happens next. So yeah, I miss Dracula, and I don't even know why I'm surprised by that, because I do love Dracula movies and Dracula related stories. So this should have been a no-brainer that I was gonna be hooked. So I'm really excited to pick this back up. I'm hungry, so I'm gonna throw on my headphones and listen to the audiobook. Spotify has a really good version for it. If you're looking for one, it's got multiple narrators, which is always fun. So yeah, I'm gonna eat, and I have to get the room ready for my sister and her family. So I'm gonna do that while I listen. I think an Alani is needed and necessary if I'm gonna try to read and finish my TBR by the end of this week on a holiday week with lots and lots of family in town. I think I've unlocked a new obsession. I think I'm in trouble because I really, really like the taste of this, and obviously it worked its magic at the book event. I just need to be careful because I know energy drinks are really bad for you, so I don't want to get in the habit of having it too often or relying on it, but hey, it's the holiday season. Reading update. I am basically 65% into Dracula. I don't know what it is about that book, but every time I open it, I am just pulled. I think it's because it's written in journal entries that makes it really captivating. And for a classic, it is so easy to read and digest. So I'm having an absolute blast reading Dracula. It would be perfection if I could finish it tomorrow. Yeah, Dracula. This is Dracula. Another night of reading Dracula, another night of nightmares. I am the biggest Weenie Hut Jr. out there. That's not surprising. Today is do or die. I'm just kidding. It's not that serious. It's not that serious if I don't finish Dracula today. Reading is for fun. That's what I'm trying to tell myself. Yes. Sorry, it's not that serious. I'm not that stressed, honestly, but it does bother me when I'm this close to finishing for it to take days and days. Bet you weren't expecting orange juice, but sometimes orange juice is the slap in the face you need at 6 in the morning. There's only one way to fix this. Hey guys. guys, it is Thanksgiving. I am still reading Dracula, but I only have 40 pages left. So I do feel confident that I can get through this by the end of today, but it's gonna have to wait for the end of today because I have a big, beautiful family with tons of events and festivities going on. We're about to kick off with a walk, so I probably won't be able to check back in until later tonight. But I hope you guys are having a great holiday, and I just want to say that I'm grateful for anyone who is clicking on these videos and watching. It means the world to me. The day after Thanksgiving, and I am so tired. I did finish Dracula though, but I'm so tired now. I don't even think Inalani could save me. But I will be trying to read a little bit of this today and finish it. I think I have like 150 pages. I want to scratch that off my November reading list. I'm just gonna be so honest with you guys. I've been completely failing at adulting. The aftermath of the holidays has hit hard, and if there was ever a need for a reset, it's today. So now that you've seen the damage, I'm going to use this nap time to power through and clean this up and reset the house. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to listen to the audiobook of Fairytale and see how much of it I can get through. I don't love the audiobook, but it's what we're working with. You guys, how is it December 1st? That's crazy. In my head, I feel like we should be moving into November, but alas, here we are. And because it's December 1st, that means it's time to do my first reading wrap up, which would be for the month of November. I managed to read 6 books, which is honestly a lot for me. I have not been able to read more than 6 books, but we'll see what December holds because I do have quite a bit of time off from work. So maybe that'll give me an opportunity to break a personal reading goal. Before I get into my thoughts and ratings for all of the books, I do want to talk about my rating. I use a 6-star rating system. If I DNF a book, I do not rate it at all. I don't think that's very fair. 1 star is I should have just DNF'd it. It absolutely wasn't for me, and I kind of wish I had the time back. So that's a 1 star. 2 star is I'm glad I finished it, but it's not for me. 3 stars is it's good, period. 4 stars is it's good and I'm yapping about it. I want to reach out to the community and see what other people think about it and talk about our experiences with it or our theories or thoughts or whatever it is. I want to talk about this book because it was so fun and a great read. 5 stars is I'm absolutely obsessed with this book. I could not put it down. If I did put it down, my brain was just thinking about the book. I am fully invested start to finish. Yeah, just pure obsession. And then 6 stars is my whole brain chemistry has been altered. This book, this story is now part of my personality. It's in my blood. It's in my bones. It becomes part of who I am, and I feel like I'm a changed person after reading this book that is 6 stars or so-called God tier for me. So now that you know how I rate my books, let's get into it. All right, Akhimov, A Court of Mist and Fury, no-brainer, easy 5-star read. You already know this if you watched my Akatar and Akhimov reading vlog. It's just a fun time reading those books, and and the wildest 100 last pages definitely delivered that mass chaos. The twist I absolutely did not see coming. One character just keeps getting more insufferable, which I didn't predict, but it's like fun to hate, I guess. And I did appreciate that the ending of Asimov was a very gentle cliffhanger. I was able to put it down to pick up the other books for the month without feeling like I needed to rush into the rest of the series. The next book I picked up after that was The Poisoner. So I think I've mentioned this in some of my other vlogs that I like to go into my books blind. I don't really like to read the synopsis. I don't like to read reviews. And well, because I went in blind, I ended up accidentally reading 2 monster romances this month, which, yeah, I just don't know if they're for me. Not my cup of tea per se. But what I will say about The Poisoner is I did have a fun time with it. I don't know if it was intentional or unintentional, but the MMC and his reactions to how unfazed our FMC was had me cackling. And throughout the book as you're reading, our MMC is purring or making this strange clicking sound, kind of like announcing himself. And the way that the audiobook did the purring or clicking sound, I just found it to be really funny. I don't think that that's the intended response, but it was mine and I still was having a really good time and enjoying it. However, again, because I went in blind, I did not know that this was going to be a series. So when I got to the end of book 1, it definitely felt like we were rushing and all of a sudden we were putting our characters in this predicament in order to introduce what the next book in the series was going to be about. Personally, I just don't feel like it needed that. I feel like it could have very well just been a standalone book. I don't think I liked it enough to continue the series, so I'll just leave it at that, but The Poisoner was good, period. After The Poisoner, I picked up 2 Twisted Crowns, and this series, the Shepherd King series, is 6 stars for me. And I don't say that lightly because the only 6-star series that I have is Throne of Glass. And I haven't read anything that can stand on par with that. But the Shepherd King duology was able to accomplish that level of endearment and love. It was exactly the kind of story that I was wanting and yearning for. It was the right mood. It was the right world. It was a fresh magic system, at least for me, and I absolutely love that the resolution of this series was right there in our faces the whole time, but it wasn't obvious. And so when it finally was revealed, for me at least, I got really emotional. And I hardly ever write in my books because I like to lend them out, but I don't want to be like, oh, I don't want to lend this book out because I wrote something and now I feel like it's cringe or I'm a little embarrassed by it or that's really personal to me. So I tend to not write in my books, but I wrote on the page where everything gets revealed so I can always find it. I came out of this series a huge Rachel Gillig fan. I will read her grocery list. I just love the way that she writes. So I highly, highly recommend the Shepherd King duology. Next we have Dracula. Dracula is a 4-star read. I mean, come on, it's Dracula. I love Dracula, but I never took the time to actually read the original story. So I'm really happy that I took the time to fit that in this year. It was a personal reading goal for me, so I'm ecstatic that I was able to accomplish that, especially because it's a classic, and if you know, classics aren't the easiest books to read. A lot of times they're quite dry, or, you know, if you've read The Great Expectations, they're literally hard to read, but with Dracula, it was very easy to read, quite quick pacing. I really love knowing the original story, so now I can reflect on all the other Dracula-inspired films that I've seen and be able to recognize where the director's vision came in or the screenwriter delineated from the original story, and just appreciate all the different versions, because I don't think I've seen a Dracula-inspired film or related film that I didn't like. I mean, I know that Dracula Untold is a completely different direction, but it served a purpose. I enjoyed Nosferatu, which is heavily inspired by Dracula, and The Last Voyage of the Demeter, also an awesome film. So again, 4 stars. I could could yap about it. Solid read. Now we come to Brimstone. Brimstone was a highly anticipated read for me this year. I read Quicksilver about 3 months ago and rated it 5 stars. I was very excited for Brimstone. I think it's fair to say that this book does have a lot of discourse around it. You either loved it or maybe you fall in line with me in that you kind of found it hard to get through this one. I didn't feel the pull to pick it up. I felt disappointed with where she took the plot and the ease in which conflicts were being resolved. Coming out of Quicksilver and into Brimstone, I was most excited to learn how Ceres was going to navigate the politics of the vampire court. And that plot line just kind of quickly came and went as fast as it was introduced. I mean, it's not really there. So I was quite disappointed. And I get it, it's a romantasy series, capital R on the romance, which is fine. It just wasn't as good as Quicksilver. And because I was struggling and really grappling, this rating was really sitting at a 2.5 stars for the longest time until got to the last 4 chapters, and then things started really very quickly turning around and the rating went up to where we are now confidently rating this a 3-star book. So here's the nice stuff that I'll say about Brimstone, because don't get me wrong, I'm not a hater. 3 stars is a good rating, okay? Literally, that's what it means to me, is it's good. So, the nice stuff. I love Carrie and Swift even more than I did coming out of Quicksilver. I love when authors are able to turn the story around if they can get a sense that maybe the readers will start drifting at a certain point, and then the writers just very quickly, like I want to say the last 50 pages of Brimstone was a wild ride, and I was laughing and I was having tons and tons of fun with it, as you can see in my Brimstone reading vlog. And you know, it could just be suffering a little bit from middle book syndrome. I don't know. We won't know until the 3rd book comes out. So yes, I will be continuing the series. The last book that I finished literally last night on November 30th at like 9:30 was Fairytale. Now, if you've seen my reorganizing my bookshelf vlog, you'll know that I have been struggling so hard with Fairytale. I've had an interesting reading experience unlike any other with this book. So if you haven't seen that vlog, let me catch you up. The first half of the book, I really thought Fairytale was going to be a 5-star read. I've never read anything like it before. Felt like a thriller. She was getting haunted, but it wasn't really scary because I am such a weenie. Like, I had nightmares from Dracula. But no nightmares from Fairytale, so it's very mild, but I was eating it up. Then somewhere along the way, after the middle part, it almost felt like I was reading a different book. Like, even the writing for me felt really choppy. Like, I say it once, I'll say it again. It felt like halfway through the book, the author's just like, okay, here you go. Here's all the explanations with a bow on top. And I didn't really care for that. I liked when she was revealing information as we went along, and then all of a sudden it's just bang, here's the rest of it. And that really threw me off, and it just felt like a completely different story. Not to mention, it very much turned into a monster romance at the end. And yeah, I just don't know if I'm a monster romance girly. But you know what? It just could be me. I know so many people who absolutely adore Fairytale. It's really cool that it is a standalone fantasy series. We rarely see that in this genre. But the fact that it went from 5 stars all the way down to like 1 star, ultimately, I feel like I should have just DNF'd it. So I am rating it a 1.5 star. The 0.5 is because we were really taking off in the beginning, and so it's not like all that bad. It's like almost a 2 star where I'm almost glad that I finished it. But when I think about the time that I spent finishing it, I wish I would have just used that time to read a different book. And so there is that level of regret there, which keeps it in the 1 star realm. We're going to quickly shift gears into our December TBR, which is going to be purely mood reading. I'm going to keep it at 6 books, so I'm going to go grab those off the bookshelf. Okay guys, so I was able to pull 5 books off of my physical TBR. However, I am feeling like I want to read a festive, holiday, cute little romance for Christmas because 'tis the season and I don't have any of that currently on my bookshelf. So I'm going to take you guys with me on a quick trip to Barnes & Noble to find a cute and fun holiday romance. But before I do that, here are the 5 books that I was able to find. And in no particular reading order, because we're gonna mood read our way through this. First is Naturally, A Court of Wings and Ruin. This is the 3rd ACOTAR book. She needs to get read. I also want to read Direbound this month. To me, this cover is just screaming winter fantasy read, and I also have heard phenomenal things about this. I need to check this out. And then I grabbed The Ballad of Never After. I read Once Upon a Broken Heart about a year ago and really liked it, but just didn't continue the series. But I know that I had lots of fun reading it, so I'm gonna finally continue it by reading the 2nd book in the trilogy. And this is a lot of fantasy, so I threw in what's supposed to be a funny historical fiction called The Pretender as a palate cleanser. But just in case I still am in the mood for fantasy, but still want a palate cleanser, Apprentice to the Villain will be my go-to. I absolutely loved Assistant to the Villain, and it was a great holiday read as well. So I'm happy I have this to read this Christmas season too. And then for my 6th book, it will be whatever I find at Barnes & Noble. I'm gonna try my best not to look at any reviews and just pick up one that speaks to me, and hopefully I like it. Fortunately, that's gonna have to wait for another day because I only have my lunch break to do this video and I am running out of time. So I'll see you in the next clip when I do head to Barnes & Noble. Oh my gosh, it's been a day, but it's finally time to venture out to Barnes & Noble and find my festive holiday read to complete my TBR for December. I'm so excited, but a little nervous that I'm not gonna find anything. So maybe I should have looked something up, but I don't know, too late, we're going. Wow, I am genuinely shocked. That has to be the quickest, most successful Barnes & Noble trip I've ever had. I wasn't even seriously looking for the book yet, and I actually found these really cute glass carafes for water because I always have to have a glass of water by my bedside at night. So I grabbed them and then literally turned around and the freaking Kristen Hanna Christmas book was right there. And I'm like, you don't say no to Kristen Hanna, especially a Christmas story by her. So I just thought it was a no-brainer and I got that. But now I'm gonna drive home and I'll show you the other things that I got. I'm back, so let me show you what I grabbed. First, I think I showed them in the clip. They have these bedside reading water carafes that have like books on them, and I just thought that was too adorable to pass up. Too adorable and too practical because I forever have like at least 5 different glasses of water by my bedside, so having a system like this would clear up the mess and also just look adorable. So I can't wait to use this tonight. And then I picked up this adorable children's book for my nephew that is just so perfect for him. Y'all, it's so cute. It's written in both English and Chinese, and the illustrations are just too cute. So I picked up one for my nephew and also one for my son. Last, but certainly not least, I did grab the Kristen Hanna Comfort and Joy. It's only 257 pages, and I have no doubt she's absolutely going to make me sob. You know, you just don't say no to Kristen Hanna Christmas story. She's a winner. So now that we've completed the December TBR list, I'm gonna end this vlog here. Thank you so much to everyone for watching. Thank you so much to subscribers. It means the absolute world to me that you have subscribed. So truly, thanks a million. Bye.